Huh? This-
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Still good morning, not good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Habib Bacha, and I would love to introduce my panels here and thank Dr. Salatin and the AGI and Philovens for this beautiful forum. Thank you so much. Please, I would love to start by hosting His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Mohammed Obaid Belhaif Nuaimi, CEO, Sharjah Consultative Council. Hello, Your Excellency.
So, she.
And now, Dr. Maia Melikidze, Executive Director, Georgian Renewable Energy Development Association, GREDA. Hello. Welcome on stage. Now the turn of Mr. Hussein Wehbi, founder of PlugMena. Last but not least, Dr. Irakli Danelia, Central Asia and Caucasus Region Business Development Head, MAERSK. Thank you, everyone. Have a seat. How do you play? Good. What about the weather? Great. Huh? Do you know our final objective today? No. Noah? Good. It's all about to explore how sustainability and technology are converging to reshape the investment landscape, driving innovation, efficiency, and green growth across GCC and Eurasia. The discussion today will highlight emerging opportunities in renewable energy, green construction, smart cities, and digital infrastructure, spotlighting Georgia's role as an emerging hub for green growth. Our key themes are ecosystem and sustainable and digital technologies, investment in renewable energy, green buildings, clean mobility, and climate tech, smart technologies, data solutions, and digital transformation is insecurity. I should have this small mic here. We don't have it. Organizers, tell the problem. On behalf of AGI Holding and Innovance Middle East, organizers of the Global Investor Forum, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this session. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Tech Neighbors Sustainability Investing in a Smarter Green Future. Sustainability is no longer just a goal, a global goal. It's a business imperative across all the GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, and Eurasia. Innovation and technology are creating new pathways for low carbon economy, from renewable energy and climate technology to smart infrastructure and data-driven solutions. We are witnessing the transformation on how economies grow responsibly. Today, our discussion will explore how sustainability and technology converge to drive investment, innovation, and opportunity. We will focus on three key areas: the ecosystem of sustainable and digital technologies, investment in renewable energy, green buildings, clean mobility, and climate tech, and smart technologies and data transformation. I'm joined by an exceptional panel of experts who are shaping the sustainability landscape in the regions and sectors. Please, if you can introduce yourself We'll start by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Mohammed, Obaid, Belhaif, and Nuaimi.
Perfect. As is that is the chair that the Sharjah Consultative Council and professor in sustainable development at the American University of Sharjah, and I am a former Minister of Climate Change. I do and others.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Dr. Irakli.
Dear delegates, honorable guests, members, thank you very much for having me here. This is Irakli. Taking care for the Caucasian and Central Asian business development at MAERSK. The main focus is to support the digitalization, smart logistical development to the regional basis, as well as within the middle Gold. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Maia.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here in my atmosphere to be a speaker. Thanks a lot, organizers and opportunity. I'm Melikidze. I'm responsible for communicals in Georgia by sector mostly, working together with the private sector representatives, generators, and not only those who are involved in the support of the attraction of the investments. And I can see here lots of my colleagues who are working in legal point and other, let's say, economic area. So thank you so much. And we'll be talking about the important transition of Greek company. That's
Thank you, Dr. Maia. Hussein.
Morning, everyone. Thank you very much to Dr. Saad that was the provider. I'm very happy to be here. I call myself a discussion. I've been in the logistics industry for more than 25 years. I worked in different companies. I used to be the regional CEO of Panellists of the Gulf region. I worked with UPS as a NT for the batteries. I worked with the government as well of the UAE as a private business office. And today I have my own business when it comes to logistics advisory. And I just joined the custody recently, which is called Trucker, which is the Uber of slots. So I own a logistics.
Thank you so much. Thanks again, everyone. Let's open this first round by looking at the ecosystem of sustainable and digital technologies from a regional and global perspective. Around the world, we're watching renewable energy innovation, digital infrastructure, and smart data solutions converge to form a single interconnected ecosystem driving green growth in Georgia and across the wider Middle East and Caucasus region. That convergence is beginning to redefine how we generate energy, move goods, and design cities. Today's discussion will explore where the greatest opportunity lie and how collaboration between regulators, investors, and innovators can accelerate the transition to a smarter green economy and ecosystem. Your Excellency, based on your experience leading the UAE transition from traditional infrastructure to smart and sustainable development, how do you see digitalization and sustainability converging to shape the future of infrastructure and investment across the region?
Thank you very much for having me at this panel. I believe that I have a decent candidate. I come from a place where we really host innovation. We host probably well first, second in the world when it comes to artificial intelligence. United Arab Emirates have crossed minds of being sustainable and not only sustainable, but also looking into resilience and inclusion of various technologies. However, when we look into the future of sustainability, or we look at the future of what we call green technology, we are really looking into specific technologies that maybe most of us don't know where it would end, even those who are in the academy or those who are actually in the field. The renewable energy is a term that we have made to represent what is a replacement of gas energy. And we know for sure that we have done so far
in the region in finding an option or options to replace gas and oil. Now, the term replacing is not the right term. Maybe complementing could be accepted, because I don't believe that the existing knowledge nor the availability of renewable resources are enough to guide us for the future, nor enough to give us a replacement of gas and oil. Because we know that gas and oil is just like any other mineral that we use today in silicon, for example, any other material that we use today for renewables. All minerals are also sustainable, are also exhaustive. I believe that we have an era of 50 years. This 50 years, we will run definitely out of obvious minerals that we use today. And we would run off also some of the availability of gas and oil. We would end up having the next 50 years probably operating within limited resources that we know of, oil and gas in one hand, minerals on the other hand. Researchers believe that during the next 50 years, gas and oil would not be with us. And also some of the minerals will not be with us. Maybe the coal would actually stay for another 100 years. But gas and oil definitely is not going to stay with us, because it's, again, we know that it is exhaustible. Today we use artificial intelligence in predicting what is going to be happening. But I believe that we have not managed to find the specific duration during which the exhaustible minerals, including liquids that we have, including gas and oil, that would probably be looked at very carefully. So we don't know that we have the green in one hand that would be available, that we call green, and the fossil fuel that we actually develop our all developments as a result of, unfortunately.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Irakli, are you ready for the question? Good. From MAERSK perspective, in Central Asia and the Caucasus, how containerization and digital logistics are reshaping regional trade routes? Could you share our measurable example and one insight on where the biggest opportunity lies for the region here?
Thank you very much for the question. Very valid question, by the way. Well, there is when there is a challenge, it means that there is a room for development as well, right? So we have such a big room to develop in the middle corridor, because it's like a position when it comes to the digitalization, smart logistics solution. It's quite interesting. Why? Because when we're talking about the Central Asian as the Caucasian setup, always the main focus was adapted on the infrastructural basics, hard infrastructural basis. When it comes to the seaport infrastructure, railroads, tracking solutions, logistical centers, and so on and so forth. But right now, we're having the opportunity to think more about the digital platforms in order to create the smooth operational setup and coordinate all hard infrastructural bases which are presented within the corridor. Right now, when it comes to the digital solution, it's all about the track and traceability within the corridor. Here we're talking about the corridor where the multiple states are presented, So we are talking about the cross-border solutions. We're talking about the different standards in the customs procedure. So definitely the corridor is requesting to have harmonized uh, digital services where the all stakeholders are able to track their own actions and at the same time creates mitigation in the operational process. So in that sense, we as MAERSK, we're actively involved in this perspective. And actually, when it comes to the digitalization, it can't be executed without containerization. Why? The reason is very simple. Containerization is creating the standardization, and standardization is correlated to the digital solutions as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Dr. Maya, from our dual perspective as both a former regulator and now the head of GREDA, how would you assess the maturity of Georgia's renewable energy ecosystem compared to other emerging markets in the Black Sea or Caucasus region?
It's a good question. Let me start with great news. 2 days ago, Georgia received an important status from Europe. We received PMI. PMI means Project of Mutual Understanding and Mutual Interest. Well, we are given as a country an opportunity that under Black Sea Cable, which of the emission in 2032, Georgia will be given an opportunity to connect to the European world and European market. So Georgia is given a chance to generate electricity in year from renewables, definitely from renewables and not from gas and not from other non-renewable sources. And it could be an opportunity for investors to generate electricity and to sell to European world. You can generate electricity here by $6, but you could sell it to European world 3, 4, 5 times more. So this is the greatest news whenever we received just 2 days ago. Regarding your question, and get back to your question, Georgia is really very wealthy country in terms of renewables. We are rich with solar, hydro, wind, biomass, and Georgia has more than 100 years of experience generating electricity from hydro. Well, if you look at the, let's say, our basket, that's the installed capacity is 4.6 gigawatt. So it means that 75% is generated from hydro. The rest is thermal power plants. So this is a challenge for Georgia. In terms of solar, we have just 1.4%, and in wind, 0.5%. So you can see how there are the possibility to utilize and use renewables to generate electricity. So resources are quite enough. It's high time to invest into this opportunity. So I will answer all the rest, not to take too much time and give the opportunity to my colleague as well. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, Dr. Maia. Mr. Hussein. Mr. Wehbi, with your experience leading digital transformations in logistics across the Gulf, how do you see technology driving sustainability in this sector regionally and globally? What lessons could emerging markets like Georgia take from that journey?
Yeah, first of all, I need to clarify that I work in one of the most polluted industries in the world, which is the logistics. So if I want to think about money profits, I would be here. In logistics, it's a bit complicated to display it all now, but I need to just clarify that you have two types of, or two important legs. You have the freight forwarding, which today, as we speak, we cannot control a lot. Through technology, the sustainable part of it, like we cannot get today electrical aircrafts for long haul shipping, neither electrical ships, nor, but we can have electrical trucks, which is being implemented. It's not wrong.
Correct.
But the pollution, when technology is improving today, is the last mile delivery. The local delivery and the cross-border, which happened after 2007, when the e-commerce business started. And this is where the real technologies started to emerge. Route optimization, technologies that improve efficiency, technologies that predict where clients will be so that there will not do any wasted deliveries that will produce more carbon and cause returns as well, because all these trips going back and forth can pollute a lot. But the most important thing is the mindset here. We need all the GCC layers to have a sustainable mindset and to think of the PPE. And it's not a private or public sector. It is people, profits, and planet. Once we think like that, adopt the latest technologies, they are all off the shelf today, I think we can build the most sustainable cities when it comes to mobility index.
Thank you, Mr. Wehbi. So we have two PPPs formulas now. Okay, thank you. Very good for questions and extremely excellent for answers. Thank you to our panelists for sharing these insights. It's clear that sustainability and technology now move together as part of one ecosystem. Collaboration between government, industry, and investors would be essential to keep this momentum and turn innovation into real progress for this region. Any questions? No questions? Any additional questions? Any comments before we move to the second round of questions? Thank you. Let's move into our second round, focusing on investment in renewable energy, green buildings, clean mobility, and climate tech. This discussion will look at where capital is flowing, what policies and innovations are driving growth, and how countries like Georgia can attract and scale sustainable investments. Are you ready, Your Excellency, for the first question to this round?
I'll try.
Good, of course, you are ready. Thank you. Your Excellency, during your tenure as Minister of Climate Change and the Environment and Minister of Infrastructure Development, you have advanced major sustainable infrastructure programs. What policy or investment framework proved most effective in attracting private and international capital to green projects?
There are too many. Thank you very much for such a great questions. There are too many inviting opportunities when we speak about United Arab Emirates as a hub, the technology or as a hub in product innovation. That is something that we have always been associated with. However, as we move forward, whether in United Arab Emirates or probably in the globe, we really need to look into what is it that we see ahead of us. And probably this forum would probably give us a little bit of a brief in looking into the future. Today, most of our investments, really, when it comes to smart cities, for example, depend on renewables, and specifically in solar energy. Now, do we know what would be the best solar park produced? What would be the efficiency of the best plant in the globe? Anybody knows? We actually have the best of the best is not exceeding 8%. For an engineer, when you look into an efficiency of 8%, we say this is not a good investment. For sure, because we look into 90 and above, particularly when it comes into technologies. This is the best of the best that we have, that 8%. Due to many factors, some of them is probably the availability of sun rays, the technology itself. But what we have today is more of investments on two things, really. And both of them need to be. One is as the Dr. Maia was saying, in the renewables and particularly in solar. And we really need to look into solar energy, renewable energy, in terms of minerals. The minerals that we use, part of it, and a huge part of it, comes from a single source, and that is China. And now, specifically the solar batteries, you have the rare mineral materials that are not available anywhere. It is only in China. Now, whether the Chinese would open the valve or they close the valve, that is an option, and that is a question we really need to know. The second investment that we have been made, seen booming in the region generally, is producing hydrogen. Without us knowing, really, that hydrogen is not and can't be a placement for a source, because hydrogen is only a carrier. It is not a source. So we really need to know a little bit about this specific gas. Do we have it in the atmosphere? No, we don't. Can we get it from anywhere? It is, we have to really have it from a compound, particularly in water. Do we know that the biggest investment in the region is going toward producing hydrogen? And that is actually for transportation specific, because hydrogen has a property of being the lightest gas in the material thing, probably the second, but it is the lightest. And looking into it as the lightest, but you cannot transport it from somewhere, because the existing network, the existing pipeline cannot carry light gas. The second, while producing hydrogen, I don't want to be optimistic, but maybe I'm speaking technical, and we shouldn't.
When I hear you, I will be very optimistic.
I am.
Yes.
Hydrogen is a gas that is light, but also having a problem when you produce it, because you basically produce it from water. And when you produce it from water, you actually produce along with it nitrous oxides, family of oxides. Do we know what does this family of nitrous oxide do to our atmosphere? Do we have anybody else? It is not only about the gas. It is a gas that we have fought for 25 years to really get it off our atmosphere, because it hampers our ozone layer. So we have a problem here that we invest on a gas that is not only potent, but also harming the ozone. Today we know that the nitrous oxide during the last 15 years has risen from 2% to 7% yesterday. Yep. So we really need to be careful into what we really need to invest. We should make science lead our investments rather than single innovation or the opportunities. If we have science to lead, then we would know where our investment should go. I don't want to take a long time, but I think
I can't stop hearing you honesty. Very nice. Thank you so much. I can't stop. Thank you. Mr. Tanya, MAERSK is investing globally in greener and more digital logistics. Which type of investment or partnership in containerized, transport, or green corridors would create the biggest impact in this region? And what near-term result could it deliver?
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, the different countries are having a different starting points and the circumstances and conditions when it comes to the complex logistical solutions in transportation itself, right? And even on a regional basis, the countries are quite different. When we are assessing the country's logistical performance, we're using always the World Bank index, logistical performance index, which is reflecting perfectly the key state points where the countries are right now. So we do believe that the electrification of the rail is the number one where the investment should be accumulated in each and every country presenting within the middle corridor from those regional sites, Central Asian part, Caucasian countries. The next one could be the creation of the digital platform, but it couldn't be investing without having the state involvement there. Why? Because talking about the investment in the common platforms and the green corridors, it should be always dedicated not only from the private sector perspective and defined from private sector perspective, but there should be public-private cooperation and the public-private investments. Why? Because actually here the commercial interests and the activities can be generated from the private sector business companies, but at the same time the guarantees and the policy adaptations, policy making should come from the governors from each and every participated countries through the middle corridor. So we do believe that when it comes to the green corridor, the main focus should be on a rail solution. For sure, the trucking solution could be as an alternative. If the trucking solution will be there, definitely the more investment should be focused on the clean trucking services. And in the area of Caucasian and Central Asia countries, this part is not so developed. And the main focus still remains on the rail adaptation. As we all may know, the rail services and connectivity is well presented in the post-Soviet countries, and here in the Caucasian and Central Asia, we're having such kind of states, but the rail technicals shapes are different from the EU and from the China side as well, and cooperation and the preliminary defined investment flow should be adapted through the Georgian, Azerbaijani, and Kazakhstan is aligned. Why? Because all those countries are creating the connectivity between the East and West, and the investment should be concentrated on that direction. Pete, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Melikidze, from your experience leading GREDA and shaping energy policy, where do you see the strongest investment potential in Georgia's renewable energy sector? Generation, project flight, wind and solar, or enabling areas such as the grid, modernization and storage?
Thanks a lot. Actually, hydro.
Hydro.
Yes. In the coming 2 years, we are expecting to have the boom of solar energy generation. I would like to continue with Ramola's words and say that volatile energy is related to solar and wind. The major challenge here is to incorporate this energy to the grid. We have to be very honest and say that we have to enhance the transmission lines in order to integrate this volatile energy into the grid. Of course, we're supporting solar energy, wind energy, but it can't be considered as a substitute to hydro. And that is plain why. Because we have to balance this into the grid. Otherwise, we won't be able to integrate as much as possible. And Mr. Abdullah also mentioned hydrogen, green hydrogen. Georgia has 26,000 rivers, but out of these 26,000 rivers, only 300 is capable to be used to generate electricity. Out of these 300 rivers, only 25% is utilized. So the rest 75 is ready to be, let's say, prepared for the plants and also to be built. There are three very important projects, huge ones, if I can call these huge ones. It's very, very difficult to consider it as huge because it's not just 200 megawatt that helps so much. Maybe in comparison with other countries, it's not huge, but for my country, it's huge. Namohwati, Nenskra, and Khudoni. These are the names of these three huge projects in hydro. Actually, whenever we see, and we'll be back to the indicators and numbers, in Georgia, we see that per year there is 5% increase in consumption of electricity. And Georgia is not capable to catch up in terms of generation. So we are obliged to import electricity. And everybody knows that in terms of energy independence, in terms of energy security and safety, for each country is important to have a sustainable development in terms of energy independence. So having on mind this, once again, it is high time to invest in order to catch up the generation to the consumption. Today morning, I was at TV and the person who was leading the program emphasized that last year we had in Georgia 6% increase in terms of the energy consumption. Do we get the same in terms of the generations? That's really. So it's high time to work in that direction. And very much to Georgia's energy investment. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Wehbi, looking at the logistics and mobility sector, what investment trends do you see shaping clean mobility and climate tech solution in the region? And what can emerging markets learn from that?
Basically, there's a lot of investments today happening. The basic ones are, the electrical cycles, electrical plants, anything that does not see the consume fuel or new. These are the basic things. But I would like to tell you more about where the real investments can happen, which not everybody knows about in our industry. And it's maybe in Saudi Arabia, and we have great fantastic stories of this, which is the basic technology of smart lockers, for example. There's something called pick up and drop off locations stores, whereby clients will come and pick up on their way their packets rather than having this delivery going to their house and causing pollution efforts. Right. One of those main investments as well is in the warehouse itself. Instead of having diesel forklift, you need to move it to electric. The warehouse itself should be Obaid or solar panels as well. The problem today is many investors think that going into green logistics is expensive. No, it is the most or the best ROI that will come across the years is by going to green mobility and green logistics. And by the way, big clients today, multinational companies, when we go into RFIs or tender, before going into cost negotiations of the service, they ask about sustainability. What are you doing in sustainability? How are you saving that? If we pay in this as a logistics company, we will not take this. And I think Georgia is very right here for starting to adopt this approach here. By starting with small milestones, at least was developing the technology here, you have great talents building a new generation of logisticians or green logisticians. Because any company today in the logistics sector, which doesn't go fully sustainable in the coming 10 years, it will be opposite. It will become a polluter, it will be causing damage rather than saving the planet. And just last thing I want to say, in the UAE, for example, it had a it was last recent. Okay? The aim is within the next 5 years, for example, to reduce around 21% of carbon emissions, which is per year, which is equivalent to 8.2 million tons of CO2, which means removing 300 trucks from the road things. So, I mean, I can write a book about this, but there are a lot of ways where investors need to look into investing in green mobility, green logistics, and not just looking into the profits of this highly profitable industry.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein. Thank you so much. Thank you, panelists. We now have time for a few questions from the audience. Is it that?
Any questions? Let me help you. Yes, come to you. Couple of questions we could take.
Thank you so much for this great, really better discussion. We have learned a lot
of population and the initiatives that really give us the opportunity to think of the investment in Georgia. I would really have a question to Dr. Maia. You have mentioned that in Georgia, you are dependent in hydropower, and to have 26,000 river, out of the 26,000, you have 300 could produce or generate the power, and 25% of the 300 is only utilized. So I would like to understand really why you have not considered wind energy, and the other hand, what obstacles you have to utilize 300 rivers, because the main generation for Georgia power is from hydro. And you mentioned that there is a growth 5% in consumption every year without really having proper generation to meet the growth every year for 5%. I thought Georgia is exporting power, but now we are importing power. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for this brilliant question. Okay. The situation is the following. You're absolutely right in terms of catching the indicators. Well, whatever we are facing in terms, I'll start from the GREDA. We have only one Obaid power flat. It generates 20.7 megawatt. It's nothing huge. And it was built by the Sapporo BBRT. Currently, there are two projects. One of them is 206 megawatts. This will be number one huge windmill. And another is 70 megawatts. All the rest are projects. These are the ones that are under construction. And here comes the question. Why we are not capable to even do more? Because there is a lack of expertise and experience. So here we face this lack of knowledge, because this is a new thing for Georgia. And having fun like this, actually yesterday I had a very important meeting. And whenever we realized it was that there is a Georgian investor, very clever investor, and he created a great team of experts, but it's not a company. So he selected people who has experience and expertise in order to build this 206 megawatt wind power plant. So here we needed much more experience and expertise to be on the right track. Regarding your question in terms of the hydro, everybody knows that that Georgia is not an exception, that local communities are against building hydropower plants. But here we have an answer. And this answer is the law draft, which is initiated by GREDA, and I'm really very proud of. And I don't take much time, but I would like to explain, please, by your permission.
One minute only. Thank you so much.
So it always comes the question. The government and state is happy to generate electricity and ensure energy independence. Investor is happy to generate money. But what about the local community and local people? You mentioned PPP, the different people. So the people are asking, what about me? What benefit I'm gonna receive? And this go drop answers to that. And in one sentence, I'll explain that hydropower plants are paying real estate tax. It goes to the central budget and then comes to the municipality. And we are saying that the concrete percent should be dedicated to those people who are living in the village, in the very village where this hydropower plant is going to build. So we will have this equal situation for each and every citizen who is living in there. And there will be better opportunities for their development. Kindergarten, schools, rooms, so on and so forth. This is not a new bicycle. This is something that was used in Norway, Austria. We just decided to tailor it to the real situation. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Maia. Thank you so much. One question we will take only. Hopefully, it's going to be short and sharp. Thank you.
Bonjour. I speak little English, but I both speak Arabic. أول شيء لو أنا نصبت تخرارك دكتور سعادتين على إنجازاتي وابتعادي. ثانيا تصفيق جورجيا على استضافتها لهذا المؤتمر والحضور الكريم. أنا عوض شمس رئيس مكتب استشارات أوروبية الخارجية الأفريقية بروكسل بباتيسة عاصمة الاتحاد الأوروبي.
تفضل شو سؤالك؟
Oui. Donc voilà. En fonction des. Tu parles français?
Je parle français.
Ok, très bien. Donc l'année prochaine, il y aura en Union européenne, donc il y a la crédit carbone, donc il y a une norme, une réglementation, toutes les sociétés qui ne respectent pas ça, ils vont payer très cher leurs produits. Vous pouvez travailler ou intègre. Vous avez compris ou pas? Ou on a là?
Okay. Can you give it
I
to me?
would like to do
One sentence in French and I'll translate it in
Ok.
English.
Donc, c'est bien qu'on parle sur l'énergie renouvelable, sur la protection de l'environnement.
Since we are talking about renewable energy,
Donc, il y aura l'année prochaine réglementation de l'Union européenne. Toutes les sociétés qui ne respectent pas les normes européennes.
next year in the European Union,
Yeah.
okay, come here please.
Ils ne respectent pas des normes européennes pour les crédits de carbone, qui vont payer des taxes spéciales.
Okay, in the European Union, there is a new regulation that they have to pay for the high carbon company ou bien the
Compagnies,
companies.
yeah. Donc, je propose, donc, il y a des crédits de carbone, donc c'est pour les implantations des arbres en Afrique, c'est pour protéger d'abord la nature.
Okay, and there is, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, I forgot French by the way, there is a project to save the trees in Africa from the carbon emissions.
Avec la plantation, on peut faire vivre des villes entières, on respecte la nature et on aide la population.
In order to save a lot of villages in Africa,
Car avec des CO2 qui se trouvent dans la nature, même si on ne fait pas attention pour résorber des CO2, on n'avance pas.
okay, in order to save the CO2 in these villages,
Qui se trouvent dans la nature,
in
il faut les
the,
résorber.
already in the nature.
Donc, et par la réservation, c'est par les plantations des arbres et les traitements des déchets pour résorber les CO2.
Okay, so this is difficult.
So, what is the question?
C'est ça la question. C'est pour donc j'aide les sociétés pour aller implanter des arbres en Afrique pour donc résorber les CO2. Est-ce qu'il y en a qui sont intéressés par ça?
So you have this company, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you have a company that can save the forest and the nature in the village, and
Yeah.
okay.
Donc voilà. Je voulais dire aussi, on va applaudir que ça, cette magnifique organisation et aussi Georges pour l'accueil.
So the question is to Afrobi, okay, to clap our hands for Dr. Saad for organizing this forum
In Georgia.
in Georgia.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's keep, if any more questions, we keep them for the off the stage, but please, they offer your service here. They offer your questions and answers here, all the panelists. Thank you once again. Thank you. Should we do the group photo for the, one more question. Okay. Please do shorts.
Thank you. My name is Hani Idris. I'm board member of the National Pocket Bank United Arab Emirates. It's a comment and question at the same time. Like, logically, I mean, women technology, name it, sustainability, investing in smarter, green future. Okay. I believe if we are going to consider, technology is the main pillar for sustainability and green future. I need to reconsider that because technology is a key pillar in this equation, but it is not the only one. When I go visit the first ever in my life, the first ever sustainable city in Dubai, which consists of 500 families. The 500 families are from 70 countries. And this company, we see hope to Bashir, they did the first sustainable city in the region is Dubai, and they said do another one in Sharjah. In the process, they are working on the second sustainable city in Sharjah, and they did for Wehbi, and they are going now in Amman, and Texas, and more different countries. When I visit my chairman, his name is Faris Bucket, the unks, he have not talked anything about technology. The whole success story is related to the environment, the community of the sustainable city, okay? And mostly the social side of keeping in mind that there is that it's a thing to be green, so not relying on any other. This is a comment and question for anyone to answer. Thank you.
Yes. I have been able to, I know ours and I was associated with the Swatsky in Dubai at the
start. But they've done a great job, no doubt. They're doing Dubai too, across the road on the same format. But it's a smart city, but maybe we're talking about something different here. I think when we lack, really speaking, when we speak about technology, what technology you have to you? What is it? Today, we all together think that artificial intelligence is the technology that we use all the time to really make our I believe that there are 3 technologies or 2 technologies along with it that we miss. Because if we really want to cross the border and make a brighter future, we really need to club artificial intelligence. That is also having a mission and very severe mission. We need to club artificial intelligence with nanotechnology as well as quantum physics. If we club them together, we could come up with future solutions that does not necessarily depend on the existing minerals that we have that are depleting. No matter what we do, we could speak day and night about solar, about hydro, but these are depleting. These are minerals that would vanish one day. Not 50 years as consultants say, maybe 100 years, but they were not going to be with us. What we really need to know is, I think, the heading here is speaking about technologies. And I believe that what is meant here to include, to make sustainability the future history of us, is to club artificial intelligence with quantum physics as well as nanotechnology. That way, we speak about a combined package of technologies that could actually make a better impact to whether forests and smart cities or any field of solar, any field of hydro, without it, we would actually be sinking not 50 years, maybe 70, 80, maybe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if I will comment from our panelists,
Just to find a 20-second thing.
you have 10.
If I ever, which I will never, if I was given the role of a Minister of Environment or Transportation for one day only, I will bring all policymakers on one table and change the way logistics operates by creating and enforcing policies that enforce
let's say not less than 20 to 40% of deliveries in any country should be green. And this is very much true. And you can put also a cap for every individual like me who's going at once. Person to come to me at home to limit that to a certain extent whereby I can collect them from somewhere on my way. I think in this way you will reduce a lot of carbon emission in the logistics.
Thank you so much. Please.
This exists, whether we use it or not. But today we speak about the social environmental government, SEG, all over the world. And this is going to be compulsory today because we realize that most of the enterprises, companies that actually go to the banks and take loan for green technology, as we name it, or develop sustainable technologies, they can only produce not more than 30%. That is why banks tomorrow would actually be asking about two reports, your financial reports and your SEG report. So that is there for any technology bank.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, no.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Tom.
Thank you once again. ESG and SPG rules. Seems like to hear there.
Thank you. On behalf of AGI
Never
Holding,
end panel discussion, right?
yeah. Anyway, thank you. On behalf of AGI Holding and Innovents Middle East, I would like to thank our panelists for their insights and our audience for their engagement. Enjoy the last of the program at Fall. Thank you.